Hey folks, it's Glen here, GS Tongs. Recently, I've had a few people ask me about my involvement in blacksmithing and what I get out of blacksmithing as a career. So I figured I would make a video and speak about that a little bit and talk to those who are maybe considering blacksmithing as a job, be that full-time or part-time or whatever it may be. So the first thing I would say, and most important thing, is you have to be very honest with yourself. You have to know your personality and what you want. And by that I mean you need to know what your needs and wants are. So can you fulfill those needs via blacksmithing? If money is your main motivation, my advice is don't get involved in blacksmithing. I'm not saying that you can't make money at blacksmithing or make a living, but it's typically a humble living at best, or pretty modest. So if you want a new car every 5 years, or you want to live in a big house with 5 bathrooms, then yeah, blacksmithing is probably not the way to go. And yeah, there are people who do make a good living at it, but by and large, most people will just make a modest living. So that's important. Another thing you need to consider is what gives you joy or a sense of accomplishment. So that's very important when considering any kind of a job, obviously. But if making items with your hands, and particularly at a forge, is something that you enjoy, yeah, then blacksmithing could maybe be a way to go. So another thing you need to consider about a job is how much education and money it would take to start. By education, maybe I don't mean formal education, but how much time do you need to put in learning the craft in order to be good enough at what you do to begin to sell whatever it is that you're making. And it might not take that long at all, but typically, what I find is a lot of people will tell me that, oh, I want this and that from you, Glen, tools, and I want to get involved in blacksmithing. I want to start making this for sale, but the process usually takes a little bit longer than just, I have the idea and then I want to do it and then I sell it. It usually you have to put in some time. I went to college, I graduated from college, and I've had office jobs, and almost right from the beginning I knew that I would prefer to do something with my hands. So, getting that education didn't lead to something that gave me satisfaction or joy, and I'm not saying that you shouldn't go to college because it is important in a lot of ways, but if you are sure that you would prefer to work with your hands in any career, in any kind of a job, be it a blacksmith, a carpenter, a plumber, an electrician, my advice would be go to some sort of a trade school then. Learn a trade. To me, that's more valuable then, if you know that you would like to work with your hands. Okay? So another thing is that a lot of people will say to me, well, I want to get involved, I'm retired, and I want to do this as a second income, and I think that would be great. For me, obviously, I'm not retired, and when I first got involved in blacksmithing and started to sell items I made, it was as a second job. And as that progressed, then I slowly transitioned into doing that full-time, and which is where I am now. But, as I said before, making money in blacksmithing is not the easiest thing, so it's good if you have other ways to supplement your income. Another thing you want to consider about a job, for blacksmithing, or it could be for any job, is physical skills that you have. And again, this goes back to you have to be honest with yourself. Can you, sit and hammer out what has to be done day after day? Or do you prefer to have a job where there's a lot of downtime in between? If the latter is the case, blacksmithing is probably not for you. For me personally, either I'm hammering and making money, or if I'm not hammering, I'm not making money. So it's that simple. So then, okay, now you figure blacksmithing is for you. So you have to think what aspect or niche suits you best. Blacksmithing, like so many crafts, involves many different aspects. For myself, I started out and I was making tools, and I just fell in love with that, and that's where I still am today. Whereas for other people, they don't find a lot of joy in that or a sense of accomplishment, and they go into making different ornamental items. Many people are involved in knife work, swords and knives, people who make armor. I mean, there's so many different aspects to the craft. So if you find that niche that you fit into well, then that will definitely help you to turn it into a career. So, and then, you know, going beyond that, the internet is what really opens up the possibilities. If the internet didn't exist, most of the people who are making a living blacksmithing would not be able to do it. You can't set up a shop on the corner and sell, you know, blacksmithing tongs or sell, you know, whatever it might be, and have a large enough market in that general area to support yourself. You know, with the internet, it opens up a wide range. You can reach anyone who has an internet connection. So, and then, you know, then again, you can see now on YouTube, so many people are getting involved in blacksmithing and showing their work. And, you know, I think to a large degree, that's also because of there's a possibility of making some income from that. Though I will say that you absolutely need to put in a lot of time if you want to make any money from YouTube. And you might not see any money from YouTube at all, but it's a good venue to push your products and also to promote yourself. So, yeah, and then I would say one other thing is you need to define what success is for you. And, you know, when you're, especially for young people, you know, a lot of people will give advice and you should listen to others' advice. But I would say, and this is very important, no matter what career you want to get involved in, is listen, but don't try to please other people. If you please other people only, then in the end of the day, if you feel you're not happy with whatever job it is that you do, then, you know, you might be unhappy for a lifetime. Or you might always struggle to think, you know, where do I fit? So, you know, me personally, even though I've been blacksmithing now as a job for so long, I don't even define myself as a blacksmith. You know, when people say to me, like, what do you do for a living? I just, you know, sometimes I just say, I'm a hustler. You know, I just do this and that. You know, I don't know why, but once I found that I could make a living via blacksmithing, I really did. I felt that I found my place. But I still, like I said, it's just a job. And I don't define myself by that. I don't live, eat, sleep, and breathe blacksmithing. I love it. I love to do my job. I love the niche that I've found for myself. But like I said, at the end of the day, you know, it's also just a job. And it's, you know, if you look at it that way, I think that you keep things in perspective. So, yeah, anyway, that's just some quick advice. I could probably go on and on about this. And I probably, in a future video, maybe I'll talk more about how I actually got involved in blacksmithing and, you know, what led me to where I am now and, you know, where I see it going in the future and like that. So, yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this. And I promise to get back to some actual hammering videos. I went on a long trip for a while visiting family, and I've recently come back, and I'm trying to catch up on things. And, you know, since I've had these questions that people have asked about, you know, getting involved in blacksmithing, I thought I'd just put this up. So, yeah, I'll talk to you guys next time. Thanks.